Hello and welcome to Temp to Perm Fees, a bite-sized guide brought to you by Recruit Mentoring. My name's Sarah Gordon and I'll talk you through some of the questions I get asked most often about Temp to Perm Fees. The questions I usually get are: why should we charge Temp to Perm Fees in the first place? When are we allowed to charge Temp to Perm Fees? What do we have to have in our terms of business to make sure that we can charge them? And how much should we charge? Temporary candidates are your assets. They are your means of generating revenue. So when a client takes one of your temps away from you and offers them a permanent job, which is great for the temp, it's not so great for your revenue. You deserve compensation and the law allows for you to charge for temp to perm fees. There's a commonly held assumption that there is some kind of clause about free 12-week temp to perms. You see it a lot in client contracts, but it's a myth. The EAA regulations, or the conduct regs, lay out when you are legally allowed to charge a fee. So if you've had a temp who goes on assignment for 2 weeks, then goes and sits at home for 10 weeks, maybe he's watching Jeremy Kyle on TV, the client phones that temp directly and offers them a permanent job. Now, because it's within 14 weeks of the start of the last assignment, we are legally allowed to charge a fee. Another situation might be if a temp goes in and works for 10 weeks and then they go home for 5 weeks, they might be watching the Game of Thrones box set. The client again phones and offers them a job. Now, we're outside of that original 14-week period. But because we are getting that offer within 8 weeks of the end of the last assignment, we are still allowed to charge a temp to perm fee. So you can charge a temp to perm fee within 14 weeks of the start or 8 weeks of the end of the last assignment, and that's laid down in the EAA regulations. However, there are a couple of things that you need to bear in mind and you must do if you want that charge to be legally enforceable. It must be in your terms of business, and also you must offer an alternative, a reasonable extended period of temporary hire on the same terms, i.e. you can say you can either pay me this much, Mr. Client, or if you keep the temp for another 6 months, for example, you can then take them without paying a temp to perm fee. You can take them for free. So how much should you charge for a temp to perm fee? How long should your extended period of temporary hire be? It's not laid down in the legislation, so there are various different ways of looking at it. How much would you charge for a straight permanent placement? That's one starting point. How much would this temp possibly make you each year in fees? Charge that much. How long has the temp been on assignment? It might be if it's a great client, you want to keep them sweet, you might offer a discounted fee. In terms of the extended period of temporary hire, how long would it take for your temporary markup to equal that placement fee? Or is it just easier to say, okay, let's have a fixed period of extended hire. Let's just say if you want to take them on for free, you have to keep them as a temp for another 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, whatever you feel is reasonable. So the key takeaways from this very brief bite-sized session: you have the legal right to charge temp to perm fees and you've earned it by sourcing that candidate. You can charge a fee legally within 14 weeks of the start or 8 weeks from the end of the last assignment, as long as you offer an alternative period of extended temporary hire in your written and agreed terms of business. But the law doesn't tell you how much you can charge or how long the extended hire period has to be, so you decide. Take a commercial view. Thank you very much for listening today. If you've got ideas for other topics that you'd like to see covered in these bite-sized videos, please contact me on the contact details at the bottom of the screen. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.